Don't blush, baby.
I'm not blushing.
I really got to finish that intro, but welcome to the SuperCoach Experience podcast. I'm your host, Brandon Savage, the coach of the Weak Gully Dogs. It is the first week of BBL SuperCoach done and dusted, and here to join me is a man who is suffering badly. He went to an absolute rape fest at Spotless Stadium yesterday. How are you feeling, Jake?
I'm speechless of what the hell that batting performance was. I mean, it was kind of a good thing that we batted second, because if we batted first, we would have been home in about half an hour.
That would have been terrible, eh?
Yeah. I guess it's the worst innings in T20 I think ever. I think Turkey had the record, and now we've got the good old Sydney Thunder now taking over the powerhouses of T20 cricket, the Turks.
You think a team could like string together a few runs, like just one partnership, at least 20 runs? Like
it's crazy when the highest run scorer was Dogger, who came in at 10, and he only because I think he top edged something for 4. So
he missed time. I think he played early, and it just went straight through. Crazy scenes there. I think Jason Sanger had an interview just after the game, and he was speechless. He was just like, 9 wickets were edges and they were catches. We weren't trying to give away our wickets, and I 100% agree with him. I think the bowling was great, and the fielding, just everything stuck. On most other days, a few of them go through the hands, and then another partnership is created. So that's what can happen in BBL SuperCoach. And I have 3 Thunder players who had 2 games and scored less than 20. So it just goes to show that the double game week players aren't necessarily the must-haves, but at the same time, they've got that second chance to do so. And it's just very, very tough. How'd you go, Jake, overall? I am at 8,000th. No Matt Short. Traded him out last minute for Rashid Khan. And then Captain Peter Siddle. The way I worked my bench, I had Faruqi on the bench, and I wasn't able to loop him in because I also had the reserve.
You made a massive mistake, is what you see. What you're saying.
So my question is, if I looped, would I've got Faruqi score because Stoinis got 0?
Oh, actually, you might have, because it's. I'm pretty sure. Well, in NRL, it's your first positive score. So
yeah,
last
exactly.
Positive score. I don't know, Saz, but I don't think you would have done it anyway with Stoinis. You wouldn't have predicted him to get 2 ducks. Put it that way.
No, I was considering it, but I was really banking on him to not play. He obviously a bit ginger from having COVID and stuff, but hopefully that's past him, and this week off can really do him well. Obviously he's at a price where it's hard to sell. But Jake, on to you. You're flying, aren't you?
I guess I looped Sam's early. I think a lot of people did it. It's easy to bank the points and then go. In the end, probably should have gone Matt Short. But again, Sam's kind of beat out Rashid Khan. I mean, Siddle, if it was Siddle bowling instead of Thornton those overs, then Siddle would have scored 200 points. So you're kind of like unlucky in that respect. But I got 1172. I think I'm 1,800th. It's all right. I versed Timmy Williams in one of our things. We had one different player. I had Siddle, and he had Nathan Coulter-Nile, and he's coming 187th. That was the only difference. So I'm all right. Team's pretty good. I guess with all the Thunder players, I kind of had them in early. So I had Rizzo and Jilks as a reserve. They had a stinker in the first game. I didn't loop them in. I went elsewhere, and it proved pretty good. The one player I was a bit gutted I didn't have in there was Joe Clark. I had him. I took him out sort of just before the first game, which I was like, oh yeah, great. He's got 11 in the first game, and he goes out and bangs 100, which was quite good. But yeah, looking ahead to this week, we got our competition starting tonight. We've got Scorchers versus Sixers. I think it's the Sixers tonight.
Yes, Scorchers Sixers.
So I guess it's time to move in all the Scorchers.
Yeah, exactly. We've been talking about it for a few weeks now, eyeing off having Scorchers player on your bench for this week. So the Scorchers players that we had on our bench last week, were able to kind of sub them in as we needed it for loops and things like that. Obviously, we can do that this week with the Stars players. But there are a lot of people we are targeting. Let's just start on the tactics of the double game week quickly. I know we've gone over this every week, but Henry Thornton, what a gun. And Australia have just got a wicket. Lyon has got a wicket against Jansen. Very nice. 6 for 132. Henry Thornton, absolute gun, 260 points, 5 for 3 yesterday. What are your thoughts? Is he someone with massive negative break even that you'd consider going?
I mean, he would have been nice. It was a massive pod last week to sort of go, but I don't really think you're going to be spending 206K on a guy who's playing one game. Although they do versus the Thunder again this round, so surely he's not going to do the same thing he did. I think you'd rather spend 160-ish K on an Andrew Ty who's playing 2 games, who's probably going to outscore Thornton. I don't see Thornton getting 5 for 3 this week. Well, I'm hoping not, because I don't want to see a repeat again of last night.
Although he got 4 for the other day, so he's in form. So yeah, interesting. But I think a lot of players in the top 10 scoring, a lot of them were kind of single game week players like Nick Manson. There was a few others as well. So for myself, I got Joe Clark in. Just back to that, pretty happy with that. I was a bit gutted after the first one because it was a real panic move. But that also being said, I messed up my reserves as well. So that is a crucial tactic you need to make sure you nail. Let's go into Perth Scorchers. What trades are you looking at this week, and what Perth Scorchers are you thinking are the ones you're going to target?
I mean, it's going to be a bit interesting. I guess the positive with the Scorchers is they're playing at Optus Stadium over in Perth, which was predominantly like a pacey wicket. So I think we'll kind of see what they make of it. Is one I'm kind of potentially going, if he does get named in this game, would be Hatsuglu. I think if he plays this game, he'll definitely play the next game. It's just he might not play this one because it's predominantly a pacey wicket. But I'm going, if Joel Richardson is named, I'll definitely be going him. He's a gun every single year he's played. Under a bit of an injury cloud, but I think he's going to tear it up if he does play. If not, I'll choose another one of the pace bowlers. Ashton Agar. I looked at a big faff, but I think 180K. I know he's a great player, but 180K for just a batsman. I'd rather go 105K for 105 whatever for Lith, who will open alongside him, and he's opened alongside him before in plenty other T20 formats. So I'd rather save the 75K to spend on a safer bowler or something like that.
Yeah.
And I guess out are all pretty much all the stars. So Bolt out. Like you, I'm keeping Stoinis. There's not really any point punting him because he's worth nothing at the moment. Zampa, and I'm also getting rid of Siddle, coming off a double. Again, I guess he's kind of the fall guy I could get rid of. And I'm actually using a boost this week as well.
Yeah, I'm using a boost as well, just to. I think it proved in the NRL season that using him early is the way to go. Get on top of it, bank some money with all the low break evens, and just pretty much getting on top of it early so you can fly home as best as you can. Personally, I'm getting in Lith. I was getting in Faf, but I've also got Bancroft and Inglis. No, I don't have Inglis at the moment. But I
remember in last week's episode you went Bancroft instead of Inglis.
But I'm going to get both of them. I'm going to get both of them and play them both off the bench, and hopefully sub them both in if I need to, if they do well. So I think they're both at a pretty good price. It's very interesting. I feel like stacking up on batsmen is not the way to go. Obviously, this format of the game favors bowlers. So Richardson is in my side. Hasseglu is in my side. Agar, I'm not sure of. I don't know what his role is going to be like. There is a chance he could bowl 3 overs instead of 4. But that being said, he's been inside for a long time. He's probably locked into 4 overs, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, I kind of looked at a lot of their stats at the end of last year when they were playing both spinners, Hasseglu and Agar, and they both played 4 overs. They both bowled 4 overs, every time. That was kind of with Mitch Marsh going down injured, so they didn't really bowl Hardy. Hardy might come and bowl a bit, but to me, I think he's going to be a bit of a trap batting 8 and potentially not bowling. So I know he's quite heavily owned. There's a couple of people trading him in, but what about you, Savs? You think he's a bit of a trap?
He's 100% a trap. If we get the team sheet and he's named at 3, then I see the appeal. I think a lot of people are banking on him taking Mitch Marsh's spot, but based on batting ability, he's not going to bat number 3. I think it's just because he's the closest to Mitch Marsh, like he's a bowler that can bat. So I think that's why people are kind of thinking he's just going to slot straight in. So yeah, personally, I'm not a fan of Hardy unless he goes in and he bats 3. And even still, we've seen, even if they got a good role, if they're not that good a player or they're less than average, like have a go on Matt Gilks, like over the weekend, 2 ducks off 2 balls. What? Yeah. So I think he's someone I'm just probably not going to touch. Very good. So what are your thoughts on Matt Gilks? We obviously 2 ducks in a row, and we've been saying it all preseason. We think by the end of the season, Gilks is not going to be there. How many more chances did he get?
I don't know. I mean, the whole team needs a bit of a second chance. They're all pretty poor in the last game. Riley Rousseau, he was disappointing. Hales had an all right first game, did nothing. So yeah, the coach came out and said can't drop the whole side. So I think there was going to give him one more, a chance. And then I kind of with Gilksy, 2 ducks. I mean, you had Stoinis as well, 2 ducks. It was quite a lot of highly owned players that really stunk it up this week. So, I mean, in cricket, mate, sometimes it's just that's the way it goes. You're in a bit of a rut. Hopefully, he gets you out of it because I think a few teams will be depending on him this week and for another Thunder double. But is that another wicket there, Savs?
Yes, we've just got a comment, Stark. He's just got another wicket there. I'll just a bit. He's got another wicket. It's very nice. And we've got some comments here. Amusement Productions, love the show, guys. 1390 for me, ranked 59. Thornton King, what a gun! Have a look at that ball. Smith straight in the bread basket. How good. Michael Bryce, thank you guys. Top 1% ranked 300. Good stuff for you guys. Talk. Thank you. Hobart Hurricanes, they performed as well. And I did say on the show last week that I thought the Adelaide Strikers would struggle, and they've come out of the blocks flying. So I think the competition is a lot closer than we thought it was, and even the Brisbane Heat kind of put a little bit of a fight up.
Yeah, I think they'll probably the Thunder will probably, I mean, obviously yesterday, but they did get a win as well. But the Health of the Heat were pretty ordinary. The Canes, they showed glimpses. Their bowling wasn't that good. They kind of
Meredith,
Nathan Ellis. He got a few, I think, Meredith, but kind of a bit of junk wickets. So I mean, it's a very close one. The Sixers got rolled. So I think it's a pretty good season.
Agree. And the Renegades came out, got a win. Nick Manson, did you see him get bowled, but not bowled? How crazy was that? It was honestly a really good first week of cricket. I really enjoyed it, and every game I was very engaged. First round came down to the last ball, and what do you know? It comes down to bloody buys. How ridiculous. I was really enjoying that one. But I guess moving on to tonight's game, we've got the Sixers and the Scorchers. Obviously, we've targeted all these Scorchers players, the batsmen, the bowlers. With the Sydney Sixers, Sean Abbott, he came home strong in the end. He's bowling them death overs instead of Dean Christian. What are your thoughts? And is there a time to pull the trigger on him?
Well, I mean, he got 3 junk wickets in the last over. Before that, he was on like nothing. And I guess you're going to get that bowling in the last over because it's get runs or get out pretty much for the batting team. Still priced at 200K. I think he even made money this week. he's kind of one that you're going to pick up when the price sort of hits its when it bottoms out for the buy. I think they have a buy in round 5. So sort of after this one, you'll go to heat, and then you got not really any buys, not any doubles till round 5. So that's when you kind of are going to be loading up on the actual guns like your Abbott and targeting sort of the buy players in, the next couple of rounds.
Agree. And then we've also got the Thunder again. Is there anyone else that we're looking at getting in? Like if you missed a Faruqi, if you missed a player that you think, or is there value in some players that have gone down in price?
No, I think Faruqi's definitely the one. I think he's the most brought in this week on the double. A lot of people kind of were turned off him because of another signing of a different international player, Kadir, the spinner. But I mean, I think he's arriving in the country, but I don't think they're going to cut Faruqi. He's been the Thunder's best player for the first 2 games. So I think he's rightfully so one of the most traded in. And he's going to be making money this week. He's got a -4 break even, I think.
With another double game week.
With another double,
he's honestly a great pickup. I really like him, and I think, is it going to take away from Sam's a bit, or are they going to work together? Like in the first 2 games, it looks like it's worked for them, but is there a world where he takes away a bit from Daniel Sams?
No, I don't think so. I mean, what Thunder had that a pacey guy he had a weird bowling technique. It was really straight on, but don't really remember the name. Mahmood. Yeah, we had him, I think, last year.
Oh, yeah.
And he was cleaning up wickets as well, but Samsy was still averaging a lot. So, no, I don't think so. You need kind of multiple, good bowlers to put pressure on for the others to get wickets. So, I think those two are pretty important for the Thunder and probably majority of SuperCoach teams.
Yes, I agree. I think
is that another wicket, or what are we looking at, Saz?
Yeah. I was a bit distracted there. Line another wicket to the guy who was on 64. So we're looking good. We're going to get a bat tonight. I'm also going to have a bat tonight. Kidding.
Okay, Saz. Okay.
Renegades look good. Finch disappointing again. But Nick Manson, 122, looks like he's the real deal this year.
Yeah, and the thing with the Renegades, they don't have a buy, so you can kind of pick him up. Ideally, it would be kind of now because he's kind of going to increase in price, but you've got my other priorities with players playing double in Scorchers and yes, the Thunder if you miss a Faruqi. But yeah, Matt Madison, we kind of talked about him I think last week in the week before that. Madison was on our watch list. Potentially batting in the top 3, and he opened, played exceptionally well, and he's definitely on the watch list. And I think for that first double for the Renegades, he's going to be in a lot of sides.
Another player for the Renegades, Akil Hussain,
yes.
3 wickets, 3 or 4 wickets, and 111 points, 116 points, break even to -32 at 124,000. I think you've got to chase the money early as well. I think that's why it's probably a good week to use the boost. Someone like him at the price is probably a really good pickup. He gets 2 wickets and his price skyrockets another 50K. So I think someone like him is a nice pickup. That being said, it is hard if you haven't really planned for this round. You do want to get as many double game week players that you have, but you should already have enough Thunder to kind of outweigh that. With someone like him, do you see that being a viable option to go him?
Yeah, for sure. He looked real good. I actually I had him on my bench the week just gone, so he's in my side, and I'll probably play him this week. Obviously, wasn't able to get his score because I already had Faruqi looped in. But even so, he's making cash, and he's a play this week, and then hopefully still around for round 5. And, I mean, he should be. He was outstanding. So it's kind of a one where, I guess, with your trades, if you're sitting all right with doubles, like you said, you already got heaps of Thunder for doubles. You already got good, like you already had Scorchers in for the week before. You can, you use a boost, get a Hassan, get a someone else with a low break even, make some cash to then build on for the future. which is kind of, like you said, pretty important in this SuperCoach game, because it's a very short. There's only 13 rounds, so you kind of have to make money quickly in this one.
Yeah, 100%. We've also got there's no one else really from any other side that really stood out. Matthew Cunningham, he did well. We did speak about him, but they're on the bye, so we'll skip him for now. But just from other sides, Sean Abbott's the only one that really impressed. Chris Lynn did well. See someone you're going to look at either trading out because he's not on the double, or you're going to try and ride maybe cash.
I think Linny's probably a one you can get rid of, because that there's the ups and downs with him. Like this week with only one game, he could go out there and get 5 runs, where your other players that you kind of locked in from the score. So I don't think you're going to get rid of Rashid Khan. I don't think you're going to get rid of Matt Short. They're outright guns. For a single game. So yeah, I think if you need to get rid of someone, I think Lynn's safe to go. I mean, the break even's around 20-30, so there's a very good chance he doesn't even get that this week. If you're looking to get rid of someone you aren't sure, then Lynn's. I started with Lynn, and I've potentially getting rid of him this week. Can't remember who I've traded out, actually.
I'm selling him this week. I don't think he's going to hurt you. He's not going to score 100. Could be biting my hat at the end of the week, but I think we're just going to talk captains, and then that's about it. Like, it's 3:00 on a Saturday, Arvo. We're not going to spend too much time on it. Just a quick chat, debrief, and I guess when we do have a mid-week podcast, we'll do it.
Yeah, which should be the next round. I can't remember. Round. Yeah, the round's finishing maybe on a Tuesday or something.
All right, so captains, my VT is going to be Agar, Captain Sam's.
I think mine will be very similar, but I think I might chase one of the pace bowlers. I don't really want to go Richardson, because I don't know if he's going to be playing both. Maybe an Andrew Ty, or like you, probably an Agar, and then captain. See, I think Sam's is a hard one to go past. Batting, although he hasn't done much batting, another Thunder has, but bowling, he's got 2 wickets in both games, so he's pretty safe in that respect.
I think he's going to come good with the batting this week. So, I'm very keen on him, and he's a safe option regardless. So, cheers for tuning in, guys, and cheers, Jake, for jumping on a Saturday Arvo. I know it's a bit of an annoying time, but got to do what you got to do, eh?
Yeah, mate. It's only half hour in my day I can put away.
Yeah, exactly. On the beers tonight. Good luck.